Reddit stories of resilience, watch them turn setbacks into powerful comebacks. Mine was, the drop from your hairline to your eyebrows is bigger than the drop from your ego to your IQ. Stepdad, those cheap snacks are bad for you. Me, smoking is also bad for you. I still remember my brother yelling checkmate as I felt the glory of a comeback I just responded with as instinct. Edit, wasn't that smooth, but my 8-year-old self was still proud. My sister said to me while at dinner, we got you at 5 and below. So I said back immediately, and we got you at the dollar store. I was 6. She and the rest of my family started laughing and my dad gave me a fist bump. I recently was in a fight with this girl and then she said just shut up and I responded with ladies first. She went quiet and she left. Go get a life. At least having no life is better than having yours. If anyone says that, tell me something I don't know, just say your dad. When I was like 13 years old, my mom told me that I had to take out my sisters to the park. So I decided to get dressed and go. Right before I took them outside, my sister said, "Why are getting dressed up? You're just going outside." Then I replied, "Just because I am taking out the trash doesn't mean I have to look like it." To which she said, "You're taking me to the park, you're not taking out the trash." I told her to think more carefully about what she says before she says it. She then proceeded to tell my parents on me. They just laughed. So do you treat all men like this? No. You're just not a man. I heard my uncles bickering one time and they said, "You're gay." You're right, I am happy. Thanks. Happy with a dude. The best way to make a comeback is to agree with the insult, "You're gay." I thought we will keep our relationship a secret. I know it's heavily overused, but not mine, but my little sister's. I used to say, "Well, excuse me," for a living. All the time if someone complained. So one day sister came back with, "That's okay, just don't do it again." I was so stunned I couldn't help but laugh. She was in middle school. One of mine was, "I'm taller than you." I replied, tired of hearing these words, "Even though you're taller than me, I still look down on you." Edit, permissions to use it. Yes. A guy randomly insulted me when I was trying to be friends with him. He said I'm only friends with rich kids. Then I said, "So that's why you hate yourself." That's one of my best comebacks. On a cruise, there was this really great comedian. He had dreads and that iconic Asian accent. We went to every show he did. He spotted us on one of his last shows and recognized us, calling us out as gluttons for punishment. Some friendly teasing and great laughs. He goes on to share his story of how he learned most of his English from movies. At the end of his routine, he asks the crowd to guess which movie had the greatest impact on the man he is today. A few people shout out random movies, but he makes his way off stage and put the mic in my face. "What do you think?" he asks. Without missing a beat, I reply, "Predator." He spun around to gauge the crowd, dreadlocks swinging behind him. Immediately the room goes hysterical and he hangs his head, laughing so hard he has to brace himself on the tables as he goes back to the stage. He spent the next couple minutes trying to regain his composure as he tried to be jokingly angry. After the show we got pictures with him. Best memory of that whole cruise was that guy. Loved him. One time some idiot said, "Are you gay?" to me, so I said, "No, why you looking for a boyfriend?" She walks past me and loudly exclaims, "Donk." I died for 5 minutes. Everyone makes a clever comeback. Me, this is easy. My comeback is K. Just a simple K. My smoothest comeback, person, "You're ugly." Me, I guess you're right. Here's mine. I was on an overnight trip in high school. The teacher was one of those teachers who try to act cool and hip with the kids to connect with them. It was mostly awkward. Anyways, he was having a conversation with some other kid when we were at the hotel. I can't remember what it was about, but eventually the teacher jokingly said something like, "Do I to go back home to my wife? Or go to jail?" To which I replied, "May, same difference." It made all the other students crack up, including the teacher. Still proud of that one. One time I was flirting with this girl and I was making her laugh. She said, "Good job. It's hard to make me laugh." I asked, "Is it hard to make you blush too?" Her smile after that worth that comment. A bully of mine was insulting my mother. These were no casual "yo mama" jokes either, these were actual insults. I'd spoken to his mom on a field trip a few weeks before this, and we got along fine. I replied, "I've met your mom. She's really nice. What happened to you?" The look on his face was priceless and the kids who overheard gasped and started going "oh." One time this kid told me no one asked and then everyone went to. Then I replied, "Who said I was talking to you?" I still laugh my ass off over that. I overheard someone, "Are you gonna cry?" No, but your mom did when she saw you. Well, at least she kept me. One of my classmates, "How do you know that you're bisexual if you never kissed a girl?" Me, "How do you know that you're straight if you never kissed anyone?" If anyone ever said, "Did I ask?" I always say no, But neither did I and you still spoke. Ask me something I don't know. Salad tastes good, dead body reported. I'm a guy with long hair and as I walk into school I see this one girl I haven't seen in a while cause of lockdown and she immediately goes, "The barbers are open again, dude." To which I reply, "So are plastic surgeons." I've never seen someone turn from being rude into getting on so fast. When your parent says, "You're adopted," just say, "Which is why I'm not stupid. I've caught all the Pokemon, what about you?" Really? Have you caught chlamydia yet? Best comeback ever. I had a conversation with a friend and I said, "Why in the world W?" Then this guy just said, "Why in the world what?" I replied with, "Why in the world would you barge into our conversation?" My friend responds to every question with, "Yo mama." One day, he randomly came and asked me, "W ho is yo or wife a?" The whole class grinned. I responded with, "Yo mama." Chaos was in the class and he got what he deserved. At work this super annoying girl used to mock my Spanish accent. One time I was talking to a different girl across my cubicle, and the annoying girl wanted to ruin the moment, so she sticks her head up and says, "I didn't understand one single word out what you just said." And without losing a breath, I say, "That's 'cause I wasn't talking to you." The whole floor bursted out in laughter. I guess my accent wasn't as bad as she claimed. BC everyone understood my comeback. Edit, I owe Tony Soprano for that one. Here's my best comeback. When I was younger my mom was trimming my hair. I moved a bit and she said, "Don't move, I'm cutting." Without missing a beat, I said, "Don't cut, I'm moving." She called me a smartass. Mine was a kind of teamwork situation. There was this girl at my middle school, let's call her J, who was a bit of a bitch. J, I'm like a goddess my friend, yeah, more like Medusa. J, okay, I'm just like her. She's badass. Me, that would mean you eat mice and you're afraid of your reflection. My uncle is pretty sarcastic and funny. He told me my hair smelled bad, so 5-year-old me screamed, "At least I have hair." It's not that funny when I think about it now, but he was really sensitive about his hair loss and I felt so cool. Not the best comeback, but I'm not usually good at them since I stutter a little. My parents and I were on vacation, and it was the evening so we were kind of chill, doing our own things. I was drawing when my father leaned to look and said, "Your art was better before," which I calmly answered to, "You were more handsome before." It got a laugh from my mom, and shut my father up, so I'm pretty proud of it. Lol. Also I feel like it sounded better in our language, so my translation is a little bit wonky I think. Me, tells bad joke friend, "Aren't jokes supposed to be funny?" Me, after hearing yours, I'm not sure anymore. Me, write that down. Write that down. This one naturally came out one time when I was rudely interrupted, and I've used it in similar situations ever since. I'm sorry the middle of my sentence interrupted the beginning of yours. Please, continue. When I was in middle school, we had this teacher for 3 periods. One being study hall, which we had in the morning. She was pretty rude to students for no reason, had favorites to pick on and get mad at, and also make jokes about race which made everyone in the room uncomfortable. No one liked her. She never was mean to me though, because I had good grades and was nice to basically everyone. Well, one day, in study hall, me and my friend were correcting essays we had written for her class. We decided to sit next to each other while doing it. My teacher asked for us to go back to our seats. We hadn't done anything but sit in silence, but we just said okay and started going back to our seats. While going to my seat, she begins making comments like I was being rude to her. Saying things like, "Okay, roll your eyes, yeah, be mad, uh-huh." She was known for putting people in situations to make people look bad, but just repeating this over and over again to me. I got fed up with this and said, not skipping a beat, "Yeah, I will," as a response to her telling me to be mad. Her, flabbergasted, writes me a detention. All worth it though. How dare you steal my BF? It's not my fault you're a bad girlfriend. I've got one. Back in secondary school there was this one girl who for some reason had it in for me, and she kept trying to mock or bully me for everything I did or had. She even tried to cyberbully me once, but that's another story. I was pretty good at ignoring her most of the time, but it was starting to get really irritating. Anyway, one day she was standing behind me in the lunch queue and was talking shit about me while I stood with my back to her. At some point I just snapped, and I turned around, looked her dead in the eye, and said, "I don't understand how you're so fascinated with me when I have zero interest in you." Shut her up like a clam. Probably my best comeback to date. It got my mother killing herself laughing when I told her. Still makes me smile whenever I think about it. A few weeks ago at school, my little brother's grade 3 friend kept annoying me, and on Earth Day, he pulled out an empty Ziploc bag and said, "Do you want this garbage?" I replied, "I don't want you." Him and his 2 friends that were there, including my brother, ran at me and I juked them all out for about 1 to 2 minutes until the bell rang for class. I was smiling the whole time, and I felt like a god. Beauty is a feeling. I was seeing someone who had to be right at all times, and constantly corrected me. We went out for 2 months. But on time when we were eating I called the steak I was having beautiful. He then went on a rant why food should not be called beautiful and what the word meant and how it should be used. I just blurted out beauty is a feeling, and then came up with an explanation on the spot which shut him up. Music can be described as beautiful, a moment can be beautiful. There is beauty in sadness and joy. When something is described as beautiful it's not because any one physical attribute, it's about the feeling it evokes in people, and that is why we all find different things beautiful. To me that steak is beautiful. Bully, you're gay. Me, I thought our relationship was a secret. All his friends left him. I was grabbing a book and a girl sitting next to the shelves goes, "Ew, it smells like crap," while looking at me. I reply with, "Then get your head out of your ass. Maybe you should get off your phone and talk more. Maybe you should get on your phone and talk less." I think she started crying. When I was a kid my dad jokingly told me that I was ugly. I replied with, "Genetics plays a part." A couple months ago, my brother and my sister got mad at each other over a game. My sister says to him, "Why do you like this game? It's trash." My brother doesn't skip a beat, "Well, you're trash and I still like you." Somehow very wholesome. Language. Yes, I call it English. My proudest. What are you doing? Your mom. My brother wasn't very impressed. A guy on Tinder asked on a scale of 1 to 100 how cheesy can I be with you? I replied I'm lactose intolerant. A kid said, "Does your mom know you're gay?" I replied with, "No, but your dad does." Not that good, but it still makes me laugh. Edit, for the record, this was me and my friend joking around. I'm not actually gay. No offense to gays. Me being a pretty quiet, coy, but extremely emotional and sensitive gal with an outgoing, logical, straightforward boyfriend, I'm not usually the successful flirt in our relationship. But there was this one time, where I was just talking about things about him that I liked and he said, "I've said this before, lower your standards beautiful," and I said, "Why, you already meet them." Taking the initiative and seeing him get flustered, which is incredibly rare, was incredibly fun and I'm still so fucking proud of that moment. HS Bully, I've been with 10 times more girls than you. Me, 10 times 0 is still 0. Playing Minecraft with a friend and tried to kill a cow. They got in my way and I accidentally hit them. Then this slipped out of my mouth. My bad, I hit the wrong cow. I felt bad after that. You must have been dropped on your head as a baby. Bold of you to assume I was ever held. I'm Asian and I had a friend who was black and we would sometimes roast each other, so one day he asks me, "Hey, are your rice crops done yet?" And I replied, "I don't know. Are you done working on them?" To this day, this has been my best comeback and we both laughed it off. Once I was sitting at my lunch table with my friends when some random girl came over to us and started talking shit about one of my friends. My other 2 friends told the girl to leave us alone, but she didn't listen and kept saying rude things about us. When she started saying bad stuff about my childhood best friend, I stood up and grabbed her shirt collar and looked her in the eye and said, "How come nobody has ever mentioned those words to you? That's all you're made of anyway." My friends started laughing as the girl had her jaw dropped in shock. As I went to sit back down she yelled at me saying, "I'll make you pay for that," which I replied with, "Try your luck, sweetheart." A friend of mine proclaimed over dinner, "I'm 10 times funnier when I'm drunk." To which I replied, 10 times 0 is still 0. For anyone here who is bad at comebacks like me, I keep a quote book and write down good ones anytime I hear them. If you can memorize some of them, not hard to do if they genuinely make you laugh, people won't be able to tell the difference and think you came up with it when you get the chance to use one, as long as you don't use well-known quotes from movie characters. That's why most of mine are things I've overheard real people say. Lol. Some of my favorites. You're ugly. Thanks, I was trying to look like you today. How did you get? Good thing. By getting the opposite of what you're getting. Go jump in the pond if you're gonna be a silly goose. If someone complains they can't see something, we'll get you some binoculars then. Oh, I heard you, I'm just not listening. Mom, do you want me to call your dad? Me, you're calling your husband because you're losing an argument to a 9 years/0? I slept with your mom last night. Sorry. She's allergic to shrimp. This kid called me stupid. I asked him, what about me makes me stupid? He said, everything I said, so the traits that we share, also make you stupid. Back when yo mama jokes were a thing. Kid, yo mama so ugly, cut him off. Me, she looks like you. That's a wrap. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more.